I just finished Tastes Like Candy 2, Sugarless by Tholen. Let's talk about it. So this book is divided into 2 parts, okay? Act 1 and Act 2, if you will. So this book takes place 5 years after the events in the first book. And in part 1, we're introduced to a new group of girls. Specifically, our main character is Dusty. And Dusty's mom is a wannabe influencer who basically drags her into all of her videos, and it's really annoying. But Dusty's not only annoyed with her mom, she's also annoyed with her friends because they're kind of more like frenemies than actual friends to her. So one day she starts getting weird text messages and like emails and stuff like that of the unaliver from our previous book. Almost like she's talking to her, and suddenly she starts just like being a pen pal with her and telling her about all her problems and everything that's going on, and suddenly they turn around and convince her that she should murder her friends. A little drastic. I did really enjoy part 1 because instead of following a final girl victim type, you're following the actual person who's planning the serial unaliving spree, which was very cool. Now, when we cut to part 2 of the book, we're getting reacquainted with Violet from the first book and what she's basically doing now, how she's coping with the trauma of everything she went through at the carnival in the past book. And she also starts getting random text message, emails, you name it, from this person claiming to be the unaliver from the first book. And she basically gets told that she has to go back to her hometown of Beldam to save this new group of girls. But the only issue is that Violet got paid off by the family who owned the carnival, because they were like these billionaire people who just like pay off everybody to not talk about it. So they basically erased what happened at the carnival. They made it look like all the girls just passed away in a car accident and that there was never a unaliving spree or a massacre at that carnival. So there's that. She's technically not allowed to go home, but she feels like she has to go home to save these girls. Now, I really enjoyed this book. I'm going to give it a 4 stars. The only reason I'm taking off a star is because there were a lot of plot holes. Okay. Like, what the heck ever happened to Louisa? Did Sutton actually make it back to Phoenix? Like, I had a lot of questions. Also, they never even said who the heck was doing everything. Like, they kind of left it out in the open to you, like, interpret what happened, but it kind of didn't make sense, you know, when you think about it without having a supernatural twist to it. It just didn't make sense. So yeah. And also in the second part, they turned it around to like kind of make it like this person was hacking into all the technology around people to be able to unalive them. And though it sounds extremely interesting, I feel the way they did it was not explained very well. You know what I mean? Like, they never explained how someone could do that. And like, I want explanations. I want to know how things work. So those are my only complaints. But other than that, it was a very fun book. It's also pretty funny like the first one. So I definitely recommend it. Just be aware that the first part, people love it. The second part kind of loses a lot of people. So be aware of that. I personally didn't mind it. My big thing was just the plot holes. I was just like, what? Why? You know, because I'm just a person who asks why a lot. So that's my only complaint. But other than that, obsessed.